Welcome to the latest Fowler Welch Industry Insight, where we ask experts about trends and issues affecting retail, food production and logistics.
Edward Garner, Communications Director, Kantar Worldpanel. The company is one of the largest market research companies in this country and also worldwide. And what we do is monitor in fine detail how people do their grocery shopping in this country. The crucial thing that brands need to recognise, well, firstly, you've got the very specific local issue of if you're getting a listing in one of the discounters, what does that do to your relationship with the established trade in the Big Four? Also, you have to recognise the consumer desire, not necessarily for cheapness, but for value for money. And the other thing that's coming into the market driven by the discounters is clarity of pricing. I think the idea of extra free, buy one, get one free, 3 for 2, some of that is beginning to get confusing and getting a bad press and is breaking trust. When you look at other retailers, the crucial trick in this environment is to be everything a discounter is not, to actually quote Mark Price of Waitrose. They are completely different. It's a completely different shopping environment. They're all much more about service. You can go into the store, see a concierge, you've got home delivery. And similarly, Marks & Spencer is another good example of that, where they major on the chilled convenience, something for tonight food mission. And again, that's something that is a big strength for them and not one for discounters. At the risk, again, of reusing that well-worn phrase, I think we're into a new normal. We're seeing it at Tesco. They've had to come out, not only kitchen sink the results with about a £6.4 billion paper loss, but going forward, they're going to have to accept lower market share, possibly, lower margins, lower dividends, and I think that applies to the market as a whole. They're just going to have to operate at a lower level, if you like. I think that's one of the reasons the discounters actually came over. Classic chicken and egg, isn't it? I mean, if there isn't a discounter near you, there's a limit to how far you're going to drive to seek it out. But if you pass one on the way there, then I think you will add it to the repertoire. But certainly there is a consumer pull. What's happened is, in fact, the discounters have lost the stigma. Both Aldi and Lidl have social class demographics that are very close to the national average. That isn't how they started. They started a very down market and older people and so on. And they've now become much more mainstream in the demographics. Online in this country is in double-digit growth. It's about 15 to 20% year-on-year growth, so you can't ignore it as a sector, and it's worth about 6% of total grocery trading in this country. The bad news is that it makes the business less profitable because there are costs associated with online and a certain lack of convenience sometimes for the householder who has to arrange to be in. So what we're also seeing is the growth of click and collect. Whereby obviously you collect it yourself, so there's no delivery charge and you don't have the delivery complexity for the retailer. Look across the channel to France, where that is actually the major way that online works with what's called Drive as a concept. Top 3 things I'm going to get wrong. What's called the price war will continue. Normally the words price war imply that it's short term, it'll be over, but that is the new normal. We're stuck with that environment, people seeking value for money. Overlaid on that, I think we can see growth of premium. Things like Sainsbury's Taste the Difference and Tesco Finest range are doing actually quite well. And the other side of that coin, very strangely, is that the budget-owned labels like Tesco Everyday Value, Sainsbury's Basics and so on, they're actually in sharp decline because those low price points are the ones that are being picked up by the discounters. So those are a couple of trends, and of course within the retail trade itself it may well be that we get some very substantial rationalisation of ranges and promotions. Just quoting Tesco for an example, they've already floated the idea that in certain categories they want to reduce stocks by about 30%, simply because they found themselves in a situation where they've got Byzantine complexity on shelf, which puts them at a huge disadvantage with the very clean-cut transparent offering that they would get in either Aldi or Lidl.